Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubby, Son Ranto, Son Ranto, Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto, Son Ranto, Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto.
He's third in blue. Welcome to the Son Ranto Show. My name's Danny Rocket. This is brought to you by the Bleacher Bunch Productions on the Fans First Network. That is who hosts our podcast. And of course, it is brought to you by our 111 Patreon supporters. Thank you to Will, Ryan, and Ann who joined on this month. Thank you very much. Patreon.com/SonRanto is where you can do that and be a supporter of the show. Plus, our super duper ranters, Blake Beard's Tickets, Rogue Wave Creative, and Mike Waller and the Cubs PS Plus podcast. Matt Cameron's permanent paintings into clutch shirts. And might I remind everybody, hashtag chance in the chat, and you can win a Frank. Oh, things are falling on my head. And you can win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. Hashtag chance in the chat. That was Michael Cotton you just heard screaming in your ear. And IFG is not here. Infield Fly Girl, she's preparing tonight to officiate a wedding.
Yeah, she's gonna get a couple of people hitched out there in Seattle. Have you ever performed a wedding, Danny?
No, but I've been in two of them.
Okay,
I
have.
Role.
Oh, yeah, I have performed at least 4 weddings, and I might have done 5. I can't even remember now, but yeah.
Here's a little Cubs fan trivia for everybody. Bleacher Jeff signed my marriage license, so that will forever be an ordained Bleacher Jeff marriage. My marriage right now.
The weird thing is that he wrote Bleacher Jeff, and
yeah, so it's not legal. Unfortunately. So tonight it's kind of like a special Son Ranto show because the season's coming up, and it's going to be right during when our show normally would be. And so we're like, oh no, we need to do a show. So we're doing 2 things. We're doing a show tonight, and in which we're going to do a little preview with our friends Billy Devore and Eric Wielo, both very funny comedians. They are Reds and Brewers fans. And also we're going to have momentarily on Stuart McVicker from the Club 400, from the Club 400. That's all it needs to be, period. Club 400, period. And he's going to be along in a second to talk about really the most amazing thing that I think a Cubs fan has ever done for other fans, which is bring back Sammy Sosa to the fans when the Cubs would not do it. But
and the Cubs still have not done it, but Stuart has, and that's amazing.
So I guess without further ado, right? I mean, we should just bring him on, and we'll talk all about it. Stuart McVicker from in his beautiful basement at Club 400. Here he is. How you doing, Stu?
Good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. It's a Sunday-ish Sunday. Are you still smiling from ear to ear from your meeting with Sammy?
I'm laughing because I literally just woke up from a nap. Lisa's like, "You gotta get up. You gotta get on Danny's podcast." Honestly, I don't think I've actually caught up with all the rest. To be honest with you, I mean, with all the Sammy stuff that was going on at the time, it just happened to be my weekend and William and basically about 50, 60 Club 400 people down in Arizona. That was the week that the group kind of picked to get together out there. So, it was a big week for us to get out there. And I only get out there for 3 or 4 games, so it was very important for me to go out there. And the whole Sammy thing, let me tell you something. If anybody thinks like that was just a straight up drop in, quick popping thing, That was a 2-year long project, and really a culmination of a lifelong dream. I can't tell you how many people have walked up to me and said, "Stu, who do you want at Club 400?" You know, and I was always like, "Well, without a doubt, Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa was my favorite Cub player of all time. You know, I grew up like with Harry Carey and the '84 Cubs, and '84 Cubs. That was my team for the most part. That was that team that made me fall in love with the Cubbies, and." But Sammy, you know, Sammy was, and I want everybody to know this too. It's important that everybody knows a little bit about the background. When I was a little kid, um, I did fall in love by watching the '84 Cubs and Harry Carey, and it became my life. I started playing Little League baseball, and it was pretty much all baseball from then on. And my mom started taking me and my little brother on road trips, and our first road trip ever as a family was to Pittsburgh. And I remember my mom, we were waiting in the car outside. My mom went in there. She was trying to get us a hotel room that the Cubs were staying in. And we're sitting out in the car, like waiting, hoping that we're going to get a room, you know. Sure enough, she comes out, "I got a room in the Cubs hotel." This is the old Three Rivers Stadium, you know. And I just remember as a very young boy, first road trip ever to see a Cubs game. I'm sitting in the lobby, and here comes a very young White Sox, early traded White Sox, Sammy Sosa, walking out of the elevator. A very skinny guy, obviously at the time, and he came by and he sat by me and my brother, and he had he was in no hurry. And we had about a 10 to 15 minute conversation. And
Oh,
that was
wow.
my first experience ever talking to a baseball player. And Sammy, I remember part of the conversation was that Sammy was very poor growing up and he had nothing, and that he used to use milk jugs for a baseball glove. And he told us about the importance of working hard and staying in school and walking in a straight line, and signed everything that me and my brother had. And obviously, when something like that happens to you, and remember, this is when Sammy wasn't, he wasn't hitting 60 home runs a year. This is when Sammy was traded over from the White Sox to the Cubs. And then I want to tell you, like 3 or 4 other times, and I'll specifically name one, where Sammy went out of his way to be ultra kind and ultra nice to me. And one time we were in Atlanta, and we were at the Marriott Marquis. This was another road trip that my mom took me and my brother on. And we were waiting for Sammy to get autographs in the hotel lobby. And I had like 3 or 4 bats. And here comes Sammy, and we're like, that's all we wanted was Sammy's autograph. Sammy comes walking out, and the security guard comes bum rushing and grabs up me and threatens, pulls me and actually manhandles me. Sammy goes, what are you doing? Leave the kid alone. I want to sign those. Sammy goes out of his way while I'm getting grabbed by the security guard, right? Grabs the bats from me, signs them. I mean, I was like, holy cow, I almost got arrested, no joke. Snuck back into the hotel, right? Go to the game. They're out there warming up. And Sammy sees me, and he's telling all his teammates, and they're like looking laughing at me, and they're like, yeah, good job. Let me tell you guys, when stuff like that happens to you, when you meet a person and they're that kind to you, that's what sticks with you. That's what sticks with me with Sammy. And then he goes off and he does all the wonderful things that he did in Chicago. And I mean, honestly, I don't know what's going on with the relationship with the Chicago Cubs and Sammy Sosa, but I want to tell all the fans out there right now of the show listening right now, Sammy Sosa definitely came back to Club 400. It was my house that he came to, but he didn't come back for me. He came back to tell you guys that he's coming back for you. And this is the only way that he could do it. And he chose to come to Club 400 because of the work that we've done by Cub fans helping Cub fans. Since he's not officially welcome back, he felt this was the next closest thing. And he wanted to let you know he is coming back no matter what. and he plans on giving back to the greatest fans of all sports, you guys, the Chicago Cub fans.
That's amazing, and I have to agree. The next closest thing to like Wrigley Field or what the Cubs have going on is your basement. Is all the stuff you've got down there, what it looks like, the players that you bring down there. I mean, you're talking about like a Cubs Hall of Fame. The Cubs have like one wall out under the bleachers, and you've got all of that and more
Well, look,
in your two different places.
Yeah, you got Sammy's jersey right behind it. And that's what I thank you so much for, Stu, because I remember, I mean, you say it was a 2-year project. I remember about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when, I heard you say, if I could have anybody at Club 400, it would be Sammy Sosa. And I remember me and Crawley sitting there being like, dude, you should do it. You got to figure out a way. If anybody can do it, Stu, it's you that can do it. And I'm like, well, I don't know how he can do it. That seems impossible. Like, how is he going to get him all the way? I think he was living in Dubai at the time or something. It's like, he's not going to get him from Dubai to Chicago, like when the Ricketts don't invite him. But you did it, dude. And I couldn't be more proud of you and what you did for us, because, you put this all together from the moment at Christmas a couple years ago when you got him on the phone, and it was a surprise to everybody.
I'd say that was the beginning of the voyage, yeah.
But he heard us all screaming because everybody was going nuts, and we're screaming, Sammy, Sammy. And he felt that love through the phone, and because it was palpable. It was really happening. And for you to take all of just everybody's enthusiasm and their love and be like, Sammy, look what I got for you. You built the thing, like it's the Field of Dreams story. If you build it, they will come. You built it. He came, and I can't thank you enough. It was just what a beautiful moment. I'm going to put up some pictures of you, and I just want you to talk a little bit about when Sammy comes down into the basement. There he is. There you are with him you signed the wall right next to his jersey. Also, he comes down the stairs. There you are, giving him a huge bear hug. These are screenshots from the Jared Payton interview that WGN produced. And there he is signing the wall. And I mean, what did that feel like? Just Sammy Sosa in your basement, you giving him a bear hug. You got, who's that guy in the background? He looks dangerous.
Yeah, he looks like the security back there.
Yeah, he's like, just in case something's going down in Lake of the Hills, not that guy.
That guy in the back is actually Phil Smitty. We're actually going to be coming out with a podcast very soon. We're working on it right now because I'll tell you what, guys, there are so many plot points to the story, so many different things. But like Smitty was it all started with Julian Martinez. Julian Martinez is Sammy Sosa's best friend. And he also was Sammy Sosa's batting coach and confidant while he was playing with the Cubs. Not the entire time, but the second half of his career. When he was 98, he was with them, whatever else. But you'll see Julian in some old pictures. But Julian is a batting hitter at MVP out in Lake Zurich. And Julian was brought over here a couple of years ago. And I think through Julian, Sammy pretty much said, hey, I'm ready to come back, try to get me in the loop or whatever else. And, like I said, there's so many things that happened, but him walking down here into the basement, like I said, was the zenith, the pinnacle. Because it wasn't about, it was about a lot of things, guys. There's a huge story behind it. And there's so much meaning behind it, but it was definitely the pinnacle and the zenith highlight for me. And the beautiful thing is, like, we didn't have to pay for Sammy Sosa to come here. Sammy Sosa was paid nothing to come here. Sammy Sosa wanted to make a statement. Sammy Sosa was staying downtown Chicago. He drove an hour and a half to come to my place. He went straight to the Shriners Hospital. And then he came here, and then he dealt with some of that media stuff that that happened. On his way here, that's when it hit the media, and then comes here, you guys, does an amazing interview with Jared Payton, is here for 2 hours, gets back in the car and drives over 2 hours to go back to the hotel. That man, Sammy Sosa, spent over 3 hours round trip from Chicago and back just to come over here and see me. And he knew how much it meant to me to have him out here. And let me tell you something, guys. Sammy was so cool. If anybody wants to know, like, how was Sammy? How was he okay? Well, Sammy was the coolest cat you ever seen in your entire life. He was so nice. He was so gracious. He stopped. He talked. He looked at you in the eye. He listened. He smiled. He gave hugs. He was unbelievable. He really was. And I gave him a tour around Club 400. And then I took him around the bar and I gave a little speech. You could see that on the video that Club 400 released. And then he gave a little bit of a speech. And I said on the video what I'll tell you guys right now. Club 400. We're celebrating 10 years of Club 400, 10 years of giving. And it hasn't been easy. Maybe from the outside, and it looks like we're just killing it and everything, but. We've been able to accomplish a whole lot of things by taking chances and by believing in ourselves. And by having great people like you, Danny, and everybody else support us and keep us going, because I think the Club 400 community is number one, and as far as just, a group that truly cares about helping other people. And I want to let you know that Sammy definitely knew about who we were and what we stood for. He watched the videos that we made. I got on a conversation with Sammy. I spoke with him on the phone over an hour ago, a year ago. And, I never really had talked to Sammy since, just maybe a casual run-in. So here I am talking to my idol on the phone for like 45, 50 minutes. And when I got off the phone with Sammy, I was very shocked. I was really taken back about who he was and who he seemed to be, and really how good of a listener that he was. His demeanor is really calm, cool, and he's just like he's got a really good sense of humor. He likes to joke around a lot. But I think he really cares about people. And I know a lot of other people have tried to get Sammy Sosa, and it didn't quite work out. And I want to tell all those people that tried to get Sammy Sosa and it didn't work out. It wasn't anything that I don't think that we did any differently. We treated him with kindness. We treated him with compassion. We treated him with a whole lot of love. We told him that we didn't think it was fair that what happened with him, and that we told him that there was a lot of people out there who, that he made their lives, and maybe he's made unbelievable baseball memories for maybe someone's family, or maybe he made differences in a lot of people's lives. Let's face it. Sammy did amazing things with the Cubs, and
he brought back baseball.
Yeah, he brought back baseball, and I just
McGuire,
think, I think the difference between now and any other time before is that Sammy was truly ready to come back. Sammy wanted to come back on his own terms. He wanted to come back, his way. And, I can tell you one thing to all the fans of Chicago. He definitely wants to come back. He definitely wants to
came back to your house.
I know, but he's coming back. He wants to come back more. He really wants to get involved. He wants to get help. He wants to help people. I fully expect Sammy Sosa, and trust me, we're working on it. We're working on a lot of things right now behind the scenes, but we're working on an event to bring Sammy back. So, because he came back to Club 400, but now let's generate some revenue. Now let's help the fans and do something awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And so many people would love to see him. I'm going to drop the link real quick into the chat right now, so that if you have not seen the video yet at Club 400 of Sammy at Club 400, so it's about a 20-minute long interview. Jared Payton, Walter Payton's son, did that for WGN. And just in case you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. It's on Club 400's Facebook page. It's on your Twitter, I believe, too.
It's on all our socials.
Yeah, all the socials.
I did want to point out to you guys is like we live in a world right now where it's just a lot of negativity and stuff like that. And, I was trying to think about it myself, with Sammy coming over here. Trust me, it was crazy because I missed my flight. I flew Frontier back and I didn't check in. So they gave my flight away. So I got home at like 6:30 in the morning. Sammy came over about 11 o'clock in the morning. So
Wow.
I barely got any sleep. We got WGN over here. They were getting ready to film and all that stuff. But I forgot what I was going with Sammy though.
Well,
He
is that
wanted
when you
Hey,
took the private plane? Is that the
Well,
Marty Garcia?
I went from Frontier to private. Well, that's another story.
Yeah,
But
because Marty Garcia, the salsa king of Chicago, which I got a picture of him right here. You, Marty, there he is in his salsa king shirt with Sammy, you, and now he won the 50-50 raffle, largest prize in spring training history, and he used the money to get a private plane. Is that what happened? Am I telling the story properly?
no, that's not what happened.
Oh don't let the facts get in the way of a good story here.
First of all, I do want to go back though. So Sammy, we do the interview, we eat. Sammy leaves, and I laughed and I said, "Man, Sammy has already went to Steve Cocker and he's already went to the hospital. This was really his first fan encounter here. Probably about 25 people here. We didn't want to keep it small because WGN wanted it small. But I was thinking, man, here's a guy, right, who hasn't been back 14 years. 14 years. Hasn't really dealt with the public. Hasn't dealt with. I mean, a lot of things changed in the last 14 years, and you know, it had to be. He brought his son Sammy Sosa Jr. It had to be a difficult. I mean, when you're gone that long and you're coming back, and then there's going to be cameras in your face, and obviously everybody knows a few things, the stigmas that lie around him, but to come back right without being invited, and to come back and face the music and like all he really wants to do, guys, is he wants to come back and he wants to give back, and that was the message that he wanted me to when I get on some of these podcasts like yours, and this is the first time I've spoke, Danny, since the whole thing went down. But he wants me to tell you fans that he wants to come back and he wants to be a part of the Cubs community with or without the Cubs, but obviously he wants to be welcomed back into the organization.
Well, the
And
fact
that's
that
the main thing. He wants to be welcomed back. He wants to go into Wrigley Field.
the fact that he came through you, though, it makes all the sense in the world because of what Club 400 does, and the fact that it's not only Sammy Sosa, it's like you've got an event coming up with Andre Dawson, for example, for his bourbon tasting. And now that's some of that money is going to charity as well, right? I mean, that's
Yes.
every single thing you do has a charity element to it, but you're
Yeah.
also invite Cub fans into your home. You we're taking pictures with Mike Talkman. We're taking pictures with Wilson Contreras, Javi Baez, Ben Zobrist. Like the list goes on of the kind of people that you've had out there. And so because you did all that hard work before, you're able to see Sammy Sosa sees that from afar. And so he's like, well, this guy's legit. But if you hadn't put in all that work, all that time, it doesn't culminate into that big moment that just
Oh yeah.
happened.
I mean, there's been I would say 8 to 10 meetings, a lot of restaurant bills on me, personally.
Sure. So
A
right
lot
on.
a lot of phone calls. I always kept in touch with Sammy, whether it be Christmas or any other holidays, his birthday. Anytime we released a new video, I'd send him the video. And I'd always tell him, Chicago misses you, buddy. It's a matter of time whenever you want to come back. And I wanted to tell you, too, Mitch Adelstein, who runs the Chicago Sports Spectacular, he should be given all the credit in the world because, he got Sammy the Budge by doing the big autograph show in Rosemont. Without Mitch, I don't know if Sammy comes back. Once Mitch got him back, then he decided he wanted to come to Club 400 and he wanted to go to the hospitals. But Mitch had an event at Gibson's at Rosemont that I decided to go to. and Phil Smith, along with Mitch Edelstein, was there. Edelstein was there, and I'm gonna tell you what, guys. It was a $1,500 dinner, and it was one of the coolest. I mean, to go to my house and having Sammy Sosa at my house, to go to this dinner, and most of these people there, you might think, oh, they're rich guys or whatever. No, they were fans. They were fans that bucked up. This is the first time Sammy had come back. And I've heard that they did one with Dennis Rodman before, and you barely got to talk to Dennis Rodman. Sammy walked in that room. He walked up to every single, I mean, physically walked up to every single person, introduced himself to the people there. Sammy
I like the idea that he's like, I'm Sammy Sosa.
Samuel Sosa.
So we
I
sat
go
in
by
a,
Samuel now.
we sat in a square situation, right? And you know what? We thought, oh, Sammy is going to talk for like 10 minutes. Sammy talked to everybody the whole entire time. It was like a 25-person dinner party where it was a dinner party where you could talk, you could ask questions. Sammy was so gracious and so cool. It blew my mind away. I swear to God. Now, you're talking to a guy here, right, who has had over 50 Chicago Cub players here in uniform that I put on. Now, of course, Sammy's going to come here and be on his best behavior. But I'm just telling you the way that he engaged with the people one by one. I mean, he made some people cry that night at that restaurant. I'm not lying, okay?
Wow.
And it was just amazing. And the people in there were obviously the biggest Sammy Sosa that were able to afford that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Not
sure.
everybody. There's huge fans that can't be in that room, obviously. So but there's still the fans that were in there still had a lot of heart and soul. It's like it might have sold something to get in the damn thing, but it was a lot of stories about, hey, Sammy, you don't know what me and my dad, we were going through rough times, but that home run chase kind of brought us back together. There's a lot of great stories like that, tons of beautiful stories like that. And those are the stories that I think we need to concentrate on, not all the other crap going on. I just think we need to concentrate on the good. All right. We all have flaws. I have flaws. We all have flaws. Danny, you have flaws.
No.
It's a fact of life, and we're not perfect, guys. And Sammy didn't kill anybody. Sammy, let's face it, he brought a lot of love to Wrigleyville, and he interacted with the fans. And every time I met him, he was remarkable.
Yeah,
dude. Well, I can't appreciate anymore the fact that you brought him back, and I just will thank you, and I think all Cub fans thank you.
And I want to tell everybody out like this. Trust me, I don't feel it was like an ego thing at all, guys, because I'm really, really happy for all of us, for all you guys. And I know it sounds fake and maybe sounds phony, but you guys, by coming here, it's saying a whole lot to everyone, all right?
Yeah.
We are the uncorporate, unofficial Cubs group, but we have done remarkable things, and we continue to do remarkable things, and Sammy wants to be a part of giving back to the people that made him so happy. Sammy misses the love, Sammy's obviously, got a little arrogance to him. He's not going to lie. I mean, but I do know that he has found God, and I had a couple really great conversations with him. And the man is truly, he's been with his wife for 36 years, and he's kind of had two sets of children, an older set and a younger set. So he's taking care of the younger set. But, he does miss his Chicago. It's the first time that he went back downtown and saw the Chicago skyline. I can personally tell you that they did drive around Wrigley Field to see the changes. Obviously, he didn't get out of the car or anything like that. But I believe they went down there and they drove around.
I break that billboard.
Sandy wants to come back, so I'm hoping the Ricketts and the Cubs can come to some kind of agreement. Down the line,
I want to come and meet him so I can sing a Lola parody. Sosa, S-O-S-A, Sosa. We all sing along together. It's perfect, dude. We'll have him freaking rolling. I know that's his favorite song. He's a big
Sosa's
Kings
coming
guy.
back. He's going to come back to give back, and Danny is going to sing a Sammy Sosa.
We're all going to sing it
song.
together. We're
That's
all going to sing it together. So, well, Stu, thanks for coming on. We're going to let you go. We're going to take a little commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Eric Wielo and Billy Devore, our friends who, unfortunately for them, like the Brewers and the Reds, respectively.
Hey, one thing real quick. I wanted to let you guys know, as you know, we have a sponsorship with Old Style. Old Style is giving us a bunch of swag. We're going to be around Wrigley Field. I'll tell you two places I know we'll be at Almost Home. Come and get Club 400 Old Style shirt, maybe a Club 400 Old Style hat. Come to Output. I know a bunch of our friends are all going to Output. Looking forward to seeing Richie OG and the rest of the crew. Captain Cubbo, of course, Danny. I know you and the Bleacher Bum Band have rocked it out plenty of times there. And we'll be announcing Twitter where we're going to be. But come out and get the first ever Club 400 Old Style swag. I want to thank Old Style for sending over 500 cans of beer down to Mesa, Arizona. JP, I want to thank all the guys running out the tent. Tommy Skinner, Christine, the Salsa King of Chicago. We rocked. By the way, not only did we bring Sammy Sosa back to Chicago with the help of some great friends, but we rocked Arizona for the whole month of March. We're closing it out tomorrow. And I want to say we are really proud. Like I said, I tweeted out today to give away all that beer, all that salsa. But more importantly, all the loves to the greatest fans of all sports. We'll be there next year, every single year at the tent. And I'm looking forward to a great year. We'll see you at opening day with tons of Old Style Club 400 swag. We love you guys. Take care and have a great night.
Love you too,
All right.
Stu.
Thank you so much for coming on, Stuart.
Thanks, guys.
We'll catch you next Monday.
All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sunranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Ricketts family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys one beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Sun Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Sun Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Sun Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/sunranto. That's patreon.com/sunranto. And become a super ranter today.
Welcome back to the Sun Ranto Show. Hashtag chance in the chat. You could win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom and be entered to win a prize at the end of this year. I have got a great idea, is that anybody that right now that loves us should go to patreon.com/sunranto, subscribe at the highest level, which I think is $108 a month, so that you can send the Sun Ranto Show to Japan, and we will save up for that trip with your money.
Yes, I am all in on that. I'm super excited that the Cubs are going to. No, I'm not. I said so in the last show. These things drive me freaking insane that they're starting the fucking season a week too early in a country where we can't watch the game.
Well, actually, it'll be the following week with the time change in Japan. So don't worry about it. Yeah, it's actually will be April 3rd there when it's March 24th here, I believe is how the time change works.
Okay. Well, and I'm really worried about this actually, because the last time the Cubs were supposed to go to another country and play baseball, I did get tickets for my whole family.
And then there was a pandemic.
We spent all the money in the world, and then we stayed home for 2 years. We did not leave our house for 2 years, and so I'm a little worried about planning for Japan.
Yeah, don't just do a last minute flight. I'm sure that'll be cheaper. So let's bring them on. We're going to talk about the Brewers and the Reds right now. Here's Eric Wielo and Billy Devore together at last. The gruesome twosome of the NL Central. Who's first? Let's talk to you. Won the Central last year, Eric.
No, we did.
We did. So,
Again.
I thought I'd bring it up because as somebody. You'll have to live in the past, just like Cub fans now, who are still living in 2016. So we can give you some advice about how to do that. So how let's just start with the Brewers. Well, actually, let's start with you. How are you, Eric?
I'm great. To be honest with you, like you're starting pretty cocky, just assuming that our season's going to be dog shit and we're going to be living in the past. I mean, how dare you? Where does this ego come from?
You guys won a terrible division by 2 games last year. And then immediately got bounced. So, I mean,
hanging a banner.
I don't think it's crazy to think that you're not going to win a thing this year.
Yeah, no, and it's not crazy. Thank you. It's not crazy because it's still a shit division. Can we all agree?
Oh, yeah, it's a shit division. But our shit is shinier than your shit, and we plan to take that shit to the bank.
Yeah,
we're going all the way.
You took our shit and you stole our shit. So we're just like swapping shit at this point. That's what's happening here.
We're smart. We flushed the really shitty shit.
No, you took the biggest piece of shit in Craig County. That's fucking asshole.
This is a hell of a conversation.
No, but what I want to say is like, guys, I'm excited for you. You have the game in Japan, and Danny, you were saying subscribers. If you get that level, $108, ultimate subscribers. Guys, I'm throwing it out there right now. I'm a generous man. I will match any ranter that gets that subscriber base. I will match it.
All right.
But I'm going to tell you this. But it's nothing against you guys. I just don't think anybody's going to do it. So this is a win-win for me.
Yeah. You can sound like money bags and like you're doing something really nice, but that's never happening.
No, it's not happening. And secondly, I love that Cubs fans are like, "Fuck yeah, Japan," and then they had to remember they had 3 DUIs. They're like, "I can't go. That's just not it's not happening."
Low taxes.
Yeah.
Bellinger's like, what? Yeah. Bellinger's like, wait, weed isn't legal over there? Nah, I'm staying home.
Yeah.
Right.
So Billy's here too. I should introduce him just because he's on the screen and just
sure.
Looking all handsome and stuff. But Billy's a Reds fan from the new Nasty Boys podcast, and I just want to make sure. I figured we'd talk about the Brewers first, and then we'll talk about the Reds. But please interject any Reds related items that you might have along the way.
Yeah.
Billy.
Here's what's grinding my gears. Okay, everyone's like, oh, they got a week early going over to Japan or South Korea. And last week we talked about how funny it would be if they had the baseball game in North Korea. How no one would still watch it.
I listened to that, and I like how you're like how funny it would be. No, you initially told everyone the game was in North Korea.
Yeah.
That was he was out there with some misinformation.
Yeah, it's like Kim Jong-un to his people. Same thing.
You wanted Shohei. He's going to be pitching in North Korea next season. Let's be honest.
Him and Bauer will be pitching there.
Yeah. I wonder if Kim Jong-un did bring those 2 teams as far as his people know. There was a baseball game in North Korea. I swear to God, that's the Dodgers right there. They're just 14-year-olds running around.
Yeah, he's won baseball executive of the year for the past 35 years, dude.
Yeah. Did Lindsay Lohan and Dennis Rodman play on the team? Sure, but it was fine.
Yeah. Well, okay, so they're doing the games over there, and they've taken away the one big thing in Cincinnati is that we always started the season historically. Since the beginning of professional baseball, Cincinnati has opened it up, and now the ESPN's just like, hey, fuck off. You're not a big enough market. Eat shit. So
no, you don't want to even.
Let's throw away tradition, dude. Let's just fucking do that while we're at it.
Well, look, Cincinnati still gets opening day at home, right?
Yeah, that's the least they could fucking do.
I mean, that's the least they could do. Your team has gotten to do that all but 2 years out of the entire fucking since 1902 like fucking 2 or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I don't think you need to be bitching too much about that. You get a home game to start every time. We have to go to fucking Japan, come back, and then go to Texas, which I mean, I'd rather go to Japan.
Oh,
wait, Texas is this year. Sorry.
Oh, my team has to go to Japan. Is this what we're crying about?
Yes, I fucking hate this whole idea of fucking going to another country before the season starts. It's stupid. It fucking drives me nuts.
We have to go play the Mets in our opening series. You're basically in a different country. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, it is actually the most.
I like Queens.
Is the most. Yeah, it's the most diverse place in the country.
Yeah,
I'm personally thrilled that I get to go to Japan again because I could do a little bit more research.
I was gonna say, you guys catch that fucking humble brag right there again.
Again. Why don't you put your kimono on, you fucking asshole?
Listen, I am the foremost Japanese.
Danny's like, I have a
I can explain Japanese history to anybody at any time because I have my picture on the cover of this book.
Yeah, there's nothing people love more than a white man explaining Japanese history to them.
I can't wait to read the chapters about how you trained geishas. It'll be sick.
Yeah. I did give a shot of Malort to my friend Tatsuya one time. And
are you an executive producer on Shogun on Hulu too? Come on, man. Let's go.
Well, I didn't mean to humble brag again, but yes.
I hiked Mount Fiji. No big deal, okay?
No big deal.
They reached out to everyone in Japan, and then they're like, you know what? You should. All the people in Japan saying, no, you should really just call Danny Rocket. He knows. He knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So but you know who knows exactly what's going on? Craig Counsell. What an amazing manager this guy is. Dude, I just got to tell you how much we're enjoying Craig Counsell as the Cubs manager. Just real quick.
It's amazing.
Great.
It's great.
Everything that we thought that David Ross was doing stupidly last year, that we were like, what are you doing, David Ross?
Yes.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Craig Counsell came in and fixed it all immediately.
Wow.
Immediately. All the dumb shit. He's like, oh, Morel should play third. He's like, and all of a sudden he's the third baseman. We're like, that's what we said should happen.
What did you expect? You're surprised?
And here's
That's the saddest part is you're surprised that you had a fucking full idiot.
No, we're not surprised. We're surprised that the Cubs did this and actually got rid of Ross.
I know you're paying him $8 million a year. I hope he would be doing a good job.
And we're just excited and happy that finally that we have a guy in there. You know, the last 4 years have been crap with David Ross, like making all the dumbest decisions in the world. So to have honorary rancher Craig Counsell, who shows up and he's just like immediately, you're not making the team. You're making the team. You're playing third. We're going to have at least 4 outfielders to start a season, which is double the number of outfielders we started last year with. Yeah. We're going to have an actual first baseman. Like, it's insane. He's actually putting enough players on the team to fill out the entire team.
Yes. Like and then what he's telling all those guys that aren't making the roster, the open day roster, he's telling them of like, here's your role on this team I envision for you moving forward. So it's like, this is what you need to be good at to be a piece on this team. So those guys are motivated. It's not, you need to become a complete player immediately, but this is how you can help our team moving forward. And that's the greatest part about Craig Counsell. Is like, you always go, who's this guy? How does he always fill it out? How's that roster always deep? Every time I come on, I name a name. You're like, where'd the fuck this guy come from? That's Craig Counsell. He gets it. He motivates the players. He tells them everybody just wants to be on this ride. He knows what he's doing. Congratulations. You have Craig Counsell.
Yeah, you have a competent manager, finally.
Yeah, congratulations. You'll lose in the first round of the fucking playoffs. Good for you.
He pooped his pants at that point. How do you like Pat Murphy? And I mean, that guy's got to have a drink named after him already, right? I mean, let's drink a good Pat Murphy for Pat. You know.
Yeah, I mean, Pat and Craig, they go way back, but it's kind of the straight man to the funny man, and Pat Murphy's the funny man, and all the analytics. He's always like, I'm going to get yelled at by the analytics guys. So I like Pat. He's got a little edge to him. He's a little bit old school baseball. You know,
He's
he comes from
drunk.
I mean, I don't want to go that far. He's a nice guy.
He lived in Wisconsin.
I mean, I think when he was with the Brewers, when Counsell was with the Brewers, Pat got kicked out of more games than Craig. He was going at him harder than they were. He's motivating players. We got Ricky Weeks. He's the assistant manager now / bench coach. So we got a guy that was there with our players in AAA, AA, developing them, ex-player. You know, I think he's the future, but Pat is, you know, he's kind of bridging the gap right now. Is he Craig Counsell? We'll see. Probably not. But the good enough gang rides again with the Brewers.
So, well, so then you picked up a couple guys too, besides, Pat Murphy was already there, but Gary Sanchez comes to be a DH / catcher, I guess. And then Rhys Hoskins, who the Cubs were rumored to get, got good right-handed power coming back from that injury. And so those are your new additions. But then you also have like a bunch of young dudes with like Jackson Churio, who's like the number 2 prospect in baseball, I think, pretty much. And he made an amazing catch the other day in a game against the Cubs.
He did.
He's only 20 freaking years old, dude. Like I was oh my God. And I'm like, why don't we got a dude slugging? He had hit, we have a guy named Owen Casey, he had a 3-run homer today. And I'm like, you know, pounding the table. I'm like, I bet you he's going to have a better year than freaking Ian Happ. But instead, we're wasting his ass in AA for no reason. The kid's like 22.
Yeah.
And then I see you bring it. You're fine with bringing a 20-year-old kid up. The Reds are fine with that shit. It's the Cubs. They're like, oh, you got him at least, you know, be a couple years past drinking age.
I mean, we not only is a 20-year-old making the opening day roster and starting in the outfield, we signed him to like an $82 million contract. And we did the same thing with Freddie Peralta, who's going to be our front end starter. And he's going to start opening day for us. It's what you have to do as a small town team. Dude, this kid's a 5-tool player. Like the only thing he hasn't done yet in spring training is hit a home run, but he's got speed. He's got the glove, which he proved to you guys, and he can hit to all fields. Like, this kid's legit, and he is the future of this team, and it's exciting that the Brewers have it. And, I mean, if you look at it, a lot of young guys on this team. A lot of young guys got hurt last year. They did. I mean, you got we got Garrett Mitchell who started, dude. This kid's going to be a freaking stud. Gary Sanchez, Brewers do 2 things well, right? Bullpens.
I'll put up your guys here.
And redeveloping catchers. Gary Sanchez is a DH and like a backup catcher. You go from Victor Caratini to Gary Sanchez. It's always been his glove. What do the Brewers do well? Figure out your glove as a catcher on our team, man. Willie Adames, he hit 3 home runs today. He needs a bounce back year. He bat like 208 last year. And
he hit 3 home runs today?
Today.
Okay.
3 home runs today.
Because I was actually looking up to see who the Brewers' King of Spring might be, and Willie Adames has 6 home runs, and I'm like, I assume that was over all of spring training, but apparently half of them were today.
That's David Bodie-esque.
But I like the re-steal on like a prove-it deal because, you know, you get rid of Santana, who was playing first base to us. You get younger on a guy that's coming off an ACL injury that's just like, just give me the opportunity, give me the at-bats. And Rhys Hoskins has proved he can do it in a hitter's ballpark in Miller Park. Yeah, I'll call it Miller Park. I mean, the offense is there. Yelich has improved. Self-reliant, he's going to play third base, which is great. And I hear the glove is awesome on the team. Bryce Durang, he's a gold glover into the future going there at second base. If his back can come around, we're there. I mean, it's an exciting young team that has enough offense. And the biggest question mark for these Brewers is that starting rotation, which is absolutely 0.
Yeah, well, let's put up the pictures here. Freddie Peralta is a pretty damn good pitcher.
Yeah, and then Colin Ray, I mean, he's just like kind of a journeyman that gets it done. And then we signed like Jacob Junis. I think we got him from the Giants. He's injured. He missed his last start. We got Wade Miley, who's a great locker room guy. He always figures it out. Joe Ross, journeyman, coming off of 2 Tommy John surgeries, pitched with the Nationals. Then he went through that Giants farm system. Now he's on the team. He's going to make it. And then DL Hall, who was part of the Corbin Burns deal, they say, dude, that's the guy we need to be excited about, is DL Hall. They're saying that this dude is like future ace material, which gets me excited because if you're going to trade freaking Corbin Burns, you got to get something back. So we'll see. The starting rotation isn't there. Devin Williams is hurt. tore
Yeah, I
something in
saw
his
that.
back. He's not going to pitch for 3 months. But once again, what do the Brewers do well? The bullpen. You have Uribe. You got Payamps. Like, we got plenty of options there to fill that in to maintain. But that starting rotation, if there's anything with these Brewers, I think this offense might be better than last year. It's the freaking starting rotation that's going to keep us out of it.
Interesting. Well, here's the schedule. This kind of sucks. I hate this. We start on May 3rd playing each other.
Yeah, then we don't see each other till October? No.
No, we're done by July 24th.
That's insane.
All bunched
That
in.
sucks.
Yeah, we got
sucks.
a bunch of games in May, and then 3 in June and 3 in July, and that's the end of it. So I hate that. Yeah.
I will be in Milwaukee for those June dates, so we're definitely doing some games. We'll get Crawley on the drunk bus, and we'll get fucking weird, man. Let's go.
This time we need to get him to take off his pants.
Yeah, do it in the encore.
We've seen the shirt. Yeah,
I took the shirt off.
We need. I mean, Crawley has seen the inside of a holding cell at Miller Park, so I think it's time for a reunion with security over there at Miller. So that's what we're looking at. Well, it wouldn't be. I'd be remiss if we didn't do at least a bitch clock for each one of you. So I do have a wheel of grievances. And there's a lot more. I'll say this. Eric had a lot more grievances about the Brewers than Billy had about the Reds. If that tells you about maybe how they're like, Billy had like 4 things.
Yeah. Well, the Reds actually look like they're going to, be an interesting team this year.
When you don't win, you don't get to be picky. You're just happy to be there, So like, we've been there time and time again, and I got a lot to bitch about.
So we have quite a few, and I added a few in here. You probably can tell which ones I added. So Craig Counsell is the Cubs manager. I think that could be a subject of bitching. But you brought up fans have been nice to Counsell.
Yeah,
and that surprises me.
No, because he's been in your pressers and he's like, he still has his house. His kids are still, his wife still lives there. Kids are still going to school. And he's like, all my interactions with people in Wisconsin have been really pleasant. People are really happy that and I'm like, you fucking pussy. I should save it. Maybe I'll land on it. I don't know. Let's go.
so, and I put this in, you can't sell your tickets to your own fans. I put that. The Good Enough Gang, that's yours. Parking, they're shrinking the parking lot, which I hope you talk about a little bit, to make some sort of giant fan fun fest inside. I don't know about that, but I guess the taxpayers are paying for it. Corbin Burns being gone, I guess the owner, and also Wisconsin not owning the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Yeah.
Which,
that one came out of the blue. We didn't see that one coming.
Everybody look at a map and you'll see why that might be in there. So all right, I'm gonna spin this sucker. We'll see. Maybe we'll do a couple.
Oh, I'm getting put on spot for a couple. All right, here we go.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Well, see, this one's mine. So you have to do one of mine. And then you can do one. Wait. I'll give you a 30.
Wait. So explain this one to me. So this is can't sell tickets to own fans.
Yeah, you can't sell tickets to your own fans.
The Cubs fans buy all the tickets.
Cub fans buy all the tickets.
Okay.
So you're basically bitching about Cub fans coming to Miller Park, maybe. Unless
this one seems like I like that. Okay, let's go.
Right, here we go.
Clock, you have 30 seconds to bitch.
I think Cubs fans should just be banned from Miller Park completely. I mean, you show your ID at the door. If you're from Chicago, you're not allowed in because what do you provide here? What, you buy our fucking lake property everywhere else in Wisconsin because it sucks in fucking Illinois? I get it. We're not giving you tickets to the goddamn game either. What? Come here, yell, scream, be angry? Fuck you guys. We'll sell them to whoever we want.
Stop your bitching.
All right, we'll go back to the wheel of names. Hopefully you pick out the land on one of your own. If not, we'll just have you pick one that you want to do.
No, I want to hear this Upper Peninsula.
Oh, wait, it's the other one. All right, it's the stupid one. This thing's rigged. This is like
It's
a
rigged
2020
to pick
election.
only what Danny puts in there.
I did so well. Now I'm on the top level. Jesus Christ. Look at me. I moved up the ranks.
Yeah,
I moved up the
congratulations,
ranks.
dude.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I
made
like
it.
this one. Fans nice to council. I think I might give you the minute on this one.
I don't. Well. All right.
That's a long time.
All right.
All right. Well, all right. We'll warm it up with a 30.
All right.
All right. How do I do this again? Here we go. Wait.
Bitch clock, you have 30 seconds to bitch.
You're nice to Craig Counsell when you see him at a grocery store, at a pick and save? Why? He's a traitor. Why? He's a little Keebler elf. What you should be doing is fucking throwing cookies at him and fucking stuffing him in a tree. Because he's a piece of shit. He looks like an elf that works for Santa, and what you should tell him is getting coal in his stocking, because that guy fucking sucks. He's an asshole. He doesn't deserve to be in Wisconsin. He should be checked at the border and taken immediately and grounded to Lake Michigan.
We used to always call him a rat face.
No, he's an elf.
Yeah,
No, he's a
now I
bird.
see it.
He's a bird.
You don't
So
see
in
an elf.
Cincinnati, you call him a bird. We call him a rat, and you call him an elf.
Yeah.
I wonder what Cardinal fans call him.
Well, fuck the
Ichabod
Cardinals.
Crane?
Yeah,
I don't know.
they don't. They're not. No, nothing. They're not creative, dude.
No.
They call him CC.
Yeah,
That's as deep as their thought gets.
yeah.
I will say this about Craig, though. It's like, I get it's like the Midwest nice, but this is what I hate about Brewers fans and like just fans from Wisconsin in general is like, you can have a little bit of an ego when somebody fucking trades teams on you. Like, see him. I'm not saying call him out with your family, but just don't talk to him. Don't go up to him and say congratulations for upgrading your life. I mean, I did it when I moved out of Wisconsin. I mean, what do you want? But anyway, I'm addicted.
They need the state of Wisconsin needs to create a new tax bracket for him.
Yeah,
That's what they should be doing.
yeah.
Tax the fuck out of him. You have Craig Counsell pricing everywhere you go. It's just inflated when he walks in the fucking door.
That would absolutely be hilarious if
But
they
for
passed.
him, he's a gaslighter. That's what he is. Craig Counsell gaslights people. He made a video of like, this is my hometown team. I'm going to be here forever. This is the franchise I've always wanted to be with for my entire life. And then he goes,
Oh, are you talking about when he came to Chicago?
yeah, well, then he made the
Oh, because
same
that's
video.
what I remember him saying that about coming to Chicago. Yeah.
Hey, all I'm going to say to you guys is I've heard this, just through dating in general. And it's a line I stay by. How you got him is also how you're going to lose him. All right. That's just what I'm going to say. Like, he cheated on us with you. And guess what? He's going to be looking his eye on the prize. He almost went to the Mets. Stearns is there. He's a fair weather fucking prick, dude. He'll say whatever you want. He's a fucking asshole. He's a piece of shit. I don't know.
I'm with you. Ban him, dude.
Well, there's one Brewers fan that is not being nice to him. That's for sure.
No, this is their general demeanor. I'd see Craig and I'd be like, "What's up, trader?" And then I'd keep walking at the Trader Joe's, and I'd go buy my Scandinavian swimmers, and I'd be like, "Hey, bought some swimmers, just like you swam to Chicago, you loser."
I've got a surprise for you, Eric. Here, I've actually got the video you just referenced.
Through the ups and the downs, the good times and the bad, no matter what, this will always be my team. Brewers baseball is part of who I am. It's part of who we are.
God.
What
I'm
a
gonna keep that in the brand so we
What
can
a-
play that all year long.
what a dick! What an asshole!
Well, and I had one more thought about Craig Counsell is that, if he truly is like the greatest manager of all time, and he is known around the league for being one of the best managers, we kind of have seen this up close. So now that he's the Cubs manager and they're paying him a bunch of money, wouldn't he have to like fuck up really bad for him to ever not be the manager again? Or because he's young. Like, you could have him be the Cubs manager for like 30 freaking years if you wanted.
You could. So what's the
where else is he
expectation
gonna
and
go?
how long is the leash with Cubs fans, right? Because the
Great
big
question.
how long is the leash with Craig Counsell?
Well, I mean, we turned on Joe Madden in Game 7 of the World Series.
Which we won.
I mean,
and we still
the leash is not long. We do not fuck around.
No, you don't. That's what I'm saying. So like the grass is always greener, but you go there and then, okay, so what you guys like to complain about is you don't put money in the team, but you did sign one of the top free agents in Bellinger, Cody. He's back. Okay. He is a free agent. He's back. You do have a team. You do have a staff. How long's the leash? Or do you blame the ownership or do you blame Craig?
If he ends up being somebody that can't win a playoff series and get to the big show once they decide, I mean, they're already spending a lot of money, but if they put together like a 2016-esque squad in like a year or something like that, and if he's just like one and done in the playoffs, then it'll go like Dusty Baker did for us, or Lou Piniella, or like one of those, because they couldn't get it through.
Yeah, we actually have experience with this.
We've had experience with having the guy. The only guy we never had was like Bochy. We never had Bochy, who is also known as one of the best managers there is. But
Bochy's legit.
So
Bochy's the man.
All right,
That's the best manager in baseball.
I'm thinking we've spent enough time talking about that shit team up north. Let's talk about the shit team down south.
Well, first, we're going to play a commercial for In the Clutch.
I didn't realize we were doing a commercial.
Because I need to do a costume change. I need a costume change. All right, we'll be right back.
If you like the Cubs a bunch, buy your t-shirts from In the Clutch. We've got all the best styles for you. Dansby, Saya, Morel too. Clark Fly in his double U. Cody Bellinger, smoking dupes. Vintage shirts from days of old. Patrick Wisdom and Nico. You'll look sharp wearing your strobe. 10% off with the code SONRANTO. SONRANTO. InTheClutch.com is your store for the most fun baseball shirts on the planet. Don't forget to use promo code SUNRANTO to knock a couple bucks off your purchase. Stack or die, we need more cups. Get it all at In the Clutch. Cause if you like the Cubs a bunch, buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Get it all at In the Clutch. Get it all at In the Clutch.
Welcome back to the Sun Ranto Show. Michael's still not. He didn't make it back. Maybe he's doing a costume change too. I gotta show my In the Clutch shirt. Look how fabulous this shirt is. The Green Day Dookie album cover opening day shirt is great. And Billy, I got to tell you, I went in to see Joe from Obvious Shirts the other day.
Yeah,
and we were talking about this shirt because he goes, "Hey, how long you been working with the Cincy Shirts guys?" I'm like, "Oh, it's through Billy and his community. He's a Reds fan podcast." I told him the whole story how we know each other. And then he goes, "Dude, that Dookie shirt was excellent." So Joe, it is sanctioned by a rival shirt company, Obvious Shirts. We're friends with everybody, but look at this thing. And I would suggest you go to InTheClutch/Sunranto, use code Sunranto, get 10% off. And you probably won't get it in time for Thursday. Maybe you'll get it in time for Cubs opening day, though, which is Monday. You would, I think so. Order it tonight, InTheClutch.com/Sunranto. It's the opening day shirt.
And you get more than just one use out of it for opening day because Green Day is playing all of Dookie at Wrigley Field.
Yep.
So we followed the tour and we did all of the cities that ballparks that they're playing in. So it's pretty freaking sweet.
Bernie bought it. Bernie bought the Dookie shirt.
Bernie's the best.
Bill Sugas has one. I've seen picture with him in it.
Probably a big seller.
We're getting around, dude. We sold a few for San Diego as well, which is pretty sweet. I'm hyped on this, and we've got a bunch of new stuff coming too. So, and who knows? I talked to a few people. You might be able to walk to a few shops around Wrigley and get some stuff there instead of just buying it online.
There we go.
Oh, that's cool too. Yeah, no, there's a lot of stores around Wrigley that I know they carry Joe's shirts as well from Obvious, and so they're definitely willing to do deals with other shirt companies that have good stuff. Yeah. Hashtag Chance in the chat. If you're just joining, hashtag Chance, you can win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me. I saw what Alfie said. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it. Oh, go ahead.
Then go to InTheClutch.com and take a Chance shirt too, dude. Lean all the way in.
Yeah, I don't have one of those yet.
Or
I do
come to
not-
Ranters Fest and get a shirt.
Yeah,
There you go.
I have a Take a Chance
He's
shirt.
got one. I don't have that one yet.
I bought it for my son who it's for his birthday. He turned 17 in like 2 weeks. So
Nice.
It's love. Crawley wants it to say, take a chance, and then you got chance, the picture, so it's this picture, and then take a chance on me. Like all of a sudden he's ABBA, you know. Take a chance, take a chance.
Dumb.
If you need your mind. By the way, little preview, because you guys are coming in to perform during Rancher Fest on May 31st. We're having that show at Output, but Crawley asked to perform at Rancher Fest, and he specifically asked if he could sing Toto's Africa. And I was like,
Well,
I can't really say no.
I will tell you, Danny, we have played Toto Africa on stage with Johnny Onomatopoeia and myself, so we could definitely make that happen. If you give me a bass, you take the guitar, Johnny gets on the keys, we can make that happen.
We'll all be there.
Yeah.
Who was the doodly guy, though? It wasn't me, I don't think.
No, that's Johnny on the keys.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Okay, we'll be good.
I could just be standing in the corner with a triangle. That's
I hear the drums echo in the night.
that's the extent of my music abilities right there, brother.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
That's all we need for the performance. So I saw in the chat here, Alfie Campos says the Reds are probably the most underrated team in the MLB, and they surprised a lot of people last year.
No, we say this every offseason, but continue.
Oh, okay. Shots fired. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, first, I do have to ask you, because I listened to your podcast the other day, and how did I not know that there was a picture out there of Pete Rose and Tony Perez taking a dump side by side? And, dude, that was the most amazing information I've ever heard in my freaking life.
That story's awesome. How that happened. So they were at Crosley and they played like 5 innings at Crosley, and then they sprinted from Crosley to Riverfront, running through downtown, racing each other to take the first dump at Riverfront.
Wow.
It was like, there was like, fuck you, I'm doing it. No, fuck you, I'm doing it. And they sprinted through past Fountain Square, went down to that ashtray on the river, and then just let her rip.
Now,
my guess is that Pete won that race because other dude had to take off all of his clothes. Why did he have to get naked to take his shit?
he's like that old guy at the urinal that takes his pants all the way down.
Wait, you guys don't poop like that? That's what I do when I'm in public bathrooms.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I pull a full butters, man.
I can't poop with my shirt off. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sweaty. Come on.
Well, he looks like he's already done, but what do you expect from Charlie Hustle?
Yeah. He also made money off that shit too. He won big with his bookie.
Also, if I had arm hair like that, I can't imagine what his bush is looking like.
Dude, his balls have a bowl cut too.
The Dorothy Hamill. So anyway, this was the greatest thing I learned about. I didn't know about it before I listened to your show.
Yeah.
And you had a dude on from Reds
Daily. He's great.
This dude Reds Daily is a very funny guy. He came on the show. They had a great conversation. And anyway, everybody should listen to the new Nasty Boys. Even if you're not a Reds fan, it's still funny to listen to.
Yeah, no, I listen all the time. And I was actually, prior to some of the moves the Cubs made and before I knew what Council was going to start putting into place with these players, I was actually like, I think the Reds might be the team. But then once we got Bellinger and some of the guys started to like look pretty good on the Cubs, I was like, okay, this is going to be a battle. And I think it's Cubs Reds right down to the wire.
Yeah, fuck the Cardinals. I'm tired of this. Shit.
That's the dumbest shit in the world. What the fuck are they thinking? Somehow the Cardinals, they did nothing except for get older somehow, older in their pitching staff, and they're going to be fucking 20 games better this year? Shut the fuck up.
No way.
This is Pacoda that we're looking at. They got the Cardinals at 85 wins, Chicago, then Cincy, then Milwaukee, but it's all bunched up, and then Pittsburgh last, which I don't know about that either. So
no, I'm calling St. Louis last again.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh is going to be a little better than they were last year. They still won 76 games.
Yo,
yeah, and one of their
this is every year. This is every offseason. This is exactly what it looks like. Am I wrong?
No, you're fucking right, and it's annoying. Pacoda can suck my dick, dude. They don't get it, man. I don't know. Them and Fangraphs are like,
this is every offseason, and St. Louis is fucking dog shit. What's their pitching staff? What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
And then the Cubs, just because you're the Cubs, you're always number 2. And then Cincinnati, the hopeful team, they got the talent, and then you finish 4th. And then who ends up winning it? Fucking Brewers. This is us every year. Every year.
He's not wrong. I mean,
I'm not wrong. This is every offseason.
Well, I'll point this out too, is that according to Pacoda, there's not a central team with a wild card either. It's you either take the division or you're not doing anything in the playoffs.
This is so annoying. I'm so pissed just looking at
this. Frustrating. It's extremely frustrating.
Everybody's pulling the central dog shit, and I admit that there's not. Like I've been talking about this with Cub fans, and I do want to hear about like the Reds. I really do, but like I feel like you've got a similarly built team in a weird way. The Reds do. In the fact that you don't have a guy that's going to hit like 50 dongs on the team probably, or 40 even, but you might have a bunch of guys that can hit like 15 to 20, that you spread out some of the different power over the lineup. I mean, you don't really know because you have a lot of young players on the team, but like that's kind of how the Cubs are built. I don't think, with the exception of maybe Morel, that somebody would have, I don't know. Everybody else is unproven, but everybody else is like a 20, 15, 20, 25 at the high end,
CES has 40 homer potential. I think this year he probably clears 30 homers. He's a monster. That dude has a big boy swing.
Are you talking about Christian Encarnacion Strand?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. I didn't know who CES was, but he's got the longest fucking name, and you can't fit it on the back of the jersey.
I'm so pissed. I was so pissed that he just went with Encarnacion. I was like, dude, do the whole thing. Make it look like a walkway, dude.
There was no way they're going to fit it on that new Fanatics Nike jersey, though. That was not going to be possible.
Did you see the photo of one that it was like last season that he did the full name on his jersey, and it was awesome. I'll have to find that photo.
Did he have to have somebody stand next to him with the second half of his name?
They had Rosie the Red over there, just like, hey, I'm holding the Sion.
Yeah.
His name is freaking long as hell. But I also want to point out that you picked up Jamer Candelario, former Cub great.
Yep.
And so that's a big difference on your team. Former Rookie of the Year, I believe, Jonathan India is now pretty much riding the pine on the bench.
Well, not exactly, because Matt McClain's going to be out for a minute. And then Sterling, and then Marte got popped for using steroids like a dipshit.
Yeah,
so he's going to see a lot of time. I mean, and they got him playing left field, right field, first base, second base, third base. He's the Chris Taylor of this team. They're like, whoever needs a day off, we're going to put Jonathan India in there, and he'll still, if he stays healthy, which has been his biggest issue, he'll give you 130, 140 games, which would be huge if he can stay healthy.
So, Billy, like looking at this team, I look at it and I go, okay, the Reds are always said great starting rotation, but it's based on health and it never happens. And it's like you're only as strong as healthy as you are. So there's a lot of talent, but it doesn't go deep, as none of our rotations do in this freaking division, right?
So
and then my other question is third base and second base, right?
Sure. It's a lot deeper than you think when you go down. Like last season, they got screwed. A lot of people got hurt. I mean, Graham Ashcraft broke his toe.
Yep,
Nick Lodolo is made of fucking glass.
Yeah.
And
Why will it be different?
Hunter Green, well, here's the deal. You have a lot of those guys who got reps later in the season, like your Connor Phillips, your Andrew Abbott, whose arm just died towards the end of the year, they're hanging out in AAA. And don't sleep on Rhett Lauder. I mean, you could probably see him in June or July. So you have a lot of depth that has experience, that is still young, that is going to be in AAA, that'll come up just in case we have oh shit, we don't have anybody pitching, everybody's hurt. And they've also addressed that by signing Nick Martinez in the offseason, a guy who can swing between the rotation and the bullpen, who has had an excellent spring, by the way. But, if you need him to do a spot start, he can do it, or he stays in the rotation, or you throw him into the bullpen and he can give you a good couple innings during the week in like the 6th or 7th. So there's a lot more depth than you think.
It's just not real high-end depth.
It's not high-end depth. That's the thing. And that's
no, and the offense, but the offense doesn't need it. You know what I mean? We were top 5 in the National League in offense. So if you can just stay in it and keep it and maintain, sure. There's a lot of quality with a low ceiling, but a really high floor.
I see you picked up Cubs great Justin Wilson. Whoo-wee.
So we traded for him in 2021. He was a part of the Luis Cessa deal. And then he came over. Then he he had to get TJ. And then he was a free agent, was with the Dodgers, pitched really well in camp there. And they were like, all right, we'll bring him back for a deal. It's a cheap deal. It's like $1 million, like $3 million bucks. So just more left depth out of the bullpen because Sam Maul's not going to start the season. He was hurt to start. They're ramping him up. Who else was hurt?
Sounds like
Alex
everything
Young.
Eric's saying.
But you have Lucas Sims and Emilio Pagan, right? I mean, you have depth there.
Well, yeah, and that's good, like high end back of the bullpen depth too. Yeah. I mean, you can get Sims, who has some of the highest spin rate in all of baseball on his slider. You can have him go right before Diaz. That's freaking nasty.
And you got Brent Suter, former Brewer, the Raptor.
Dude, I love
him, guy.
I went to middle school with him, and then we played him my senior year in the state semifinals for baseball, and he just crushed us.
Oh,
so,
yeah. At that age, he was probably throwing like no hitters all the time, too.
Dude, he was so gross.
Yeah.
I wanted the Cubs to get him last year. I thought that would have been, wasn't he with the Rockies and he was for sale and like they were making him available? The price must have been really high because we needed a lefty so bad and we didn't get him. We didn't get anybody.
Well, the rumor on the street is no one knows who answers the phone in Colorado. It's crazy.
Yeah, so we were trying to trade for this guy, but just kept getting a busy signal. Yeah, I didn't even think those existed anymore. Somehow they have them at the Rockies.
Oh man, I have a great Rocky story from last year when I was at spring training. I was actually at Cubs spring training. I was a couple rows behind home plate, and I was like, when they were playing the Rockies, and I was just like, man, what is the Rockies' game plan? And my buddy goes, well, Dick Manfort just looks at somebody behind his desk, screams at him, falls asleep for a couple hours, wakes back up, bring those people back into the room and screams at him to do something completely different. And we're like, that's an honest assessment of the Rockies.
Yeah, it is.
And then right behind the visiting dugout, we hear some clapping like, yeah, let's go boys. And I'm like, who the fuck cheers like this at a spring training game? And then I look over and this man stands up and walks past me, and it's Dick Manfort, the owner of the Rockies. Who could clearly hear me talk so much shit about what he's doing with that franchise.
No, doesn't that suck for Chris Bryant? I mean, you just got to feel awful.
Oh, just baseball purgatory.
He doesn't really play there though, because he's always on the injured list. He's usually home just with his wife.
Well, and you guys saw the article about when he got in trouble. He's like, "Oh, I didn't realize the Rockies were bad when I got traded here, or when I signed here." Like,
no,
how the fuck are you the only person that didn't know they were bad?
He's like, I thought the farm system was good, and they sold me a bunch of moonshine, and the Cubs didn't want me, so here we are. I got to be honest with you, stupid idiot Cub fans. Is like, you wanted all those guys, and now look at them.
They're all trash.
Any team that would pay the Cardinals,
Colorado.
They would pay the Cardinals to take Arenado. You know that's not a good team.
Can you admit you're wrong?
No,
Wanted to bring all those guys back. Besides Schwarber,
because
who did you want
didn't.
back?
We wanted
No,
Rizzo
you
back.
did. Oh, yes,
I wanted
did.
I wanted
I wanted
Rizzo
Rizzo.
and Baez,
We did.
and I still believe that
Baez,
Rizzo and Baez would have been fine on
Baez would
the
have been
Cubs.
fine. Baez would have been fine with
He-
you guys. He was
Yeah.
fucking up before he left. That's why
Yeah.
he didn't resign him.
Yep.
He really has fallen off a cliff. I can't. even
He's
make
he was
he's
falling
playing in a cavernous
He was-
ballpark where
yes,
his
he
shit
was-
doesn't play.
No,
Look at
he
his
does
last
play.
year. He was
He's gonna have
falling
a
off a
triple every
cliff
day.
that last year with you guys. He made it very clear that that's not the guy. Am I wrong?
Javi
You're
had
absolutely right.
one of the most exciting Cubs careers I've ever seen. It got him put on the show of MLB The Show, and he fell off a cliff.
Yes, he fell off
did.
a cliff.
He just
Yep.
did, and I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's.
And he did it
was a
while
head
he was
case.
with you.
Yeah.
No, he did. And that was always the knock on him. Like, I think I've told the story on this show that John Baker was telling me about one time they were all out on this boat on Lake. They were on Jason Hayward's boat. They're all out on the boat. Jason Hayward had everybody out of the boat. Everybody's hanging out there, drinking, having a good time. It was like after Sunday night. They had a Monday off or something like that. We're all having a great time. And somebody had the game on, like on their phone or iPad, and they're watching like Sunday Night Baseball or something like that. And some dude swung at a pitch like 3 feet outside the zone, screwed himself into the ground and fell over. And Javi, like taking a hit off a joint, goes, "That guy's like me." And he's laughing hysterically. So he was fully aware. He was fully self-aware that he would sell out for those pitches, but he'd swing out of his shoes. But also the game has changed a little bit since then. Like they were told to do that back then.
Yeah.
Swing out his shoes, hit his ball as hard as possible, and that's and hit home runs. I think we've seen some transition. I don't know.
By the way, in 2021, Javi
You looked it
Baez
up.
had an 813 OPS. He hit 265, 319,
ago.
494, a 117 OPS plus. And then in Detroit, he was down to 91 OPS plus, and last year 62 OPS plus. But point being, he wasn't dying in his last year with the Cubs. He was still fine, and I think that his time in Detroit he's not doing well there. I agree. He's not doing well there. I just don't think I think you could have worked with him in Chicago better than him ending up in Detroit.
But then you're paying a guy a ton of money, so then you don't get a Bellinger. So you've invested your money in him. You don't get
look the fucking money. The money. Don't talk to me about fucking money. The money doesn't make any fucking difference to the Cubs.
Let me
they
ask
can
you a
spend
question.
whatever the fuck they
Would
want.
you rather have Dansby Swanson or him right now?
Yep.
I would rather have fucking Javi Baez. Dansby Swanson's one of the most boring people in the fucking world. He's boring.
He might be a boring person, but to play baseball, you'd rather have Javi freaking Baez as your shortstop.
Wow.
Dansby
Okay.
Listen, people. Look, everybody's freaking out. Look,
La 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 la. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
As of right now, Dansby Swanson's a better player than Javi Baez.
For a long time.
Javi doesn't go off to fucking Detroit, and I think Javi is playing better. Look,
But
I'm
at a
not
Dansby
saying-
Swanson level?
I'm not saying take fucking Javi from Detroit to the Cubs right now is going to be better than Dansby Swanson. I don't think that's the case.
No.
But I think if Javi just stays in Chicago the entire time, then I'm happy with him there versus Swanson. I don't think Swanson is.
Well, what
Swanson's
we have is a
great
freaking
defensively, and that's about it. Like he is amazing defensively. I'll give him that. But he's doing nothing with the bat. He's, I'd rather have the excitement and fun of Javi Baez on my team than the bullshit that I've seen over the last 3 years.
Here's one thing I'll say: we'd have a third baseman. He would be our third baseman, and he would have been. You have Dansby and Javi, and
but you
just
wouldn't-
the best freaking infield of all time.
So if you want to talk about theoreticals, you wouldn't even have Dansby on this team.
Correct.
Bellinger would not be re-signed if Javi's on this team.
Yeah,
If you bring a Rizzo
get a
back,
lot of money. I mean, Javi
That-
got paid, Bryant got paid.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
they
what
did.
I'm
I
saying.
never really wanted Bryant back.
You didn't. You guys got younger and better with these players, and here we are sitting here going, "What could have we had?" And it's so fucking
Well,
retarded.
look, no,
People
we
are
got
canceling their Patreon accounts over your team.
Yeah.
listen.
Wow.
We got younger and better with the signing of fucking Craig Counsell. You guys don't understand what we had going on these last few years. We had young guys that never got to fucking play. And if they did and they were good, they got benched. So once we got Counsell, things have changed this year. I'm excited about this team. But I don't fucking reset my brain every fucking morning when I wake up like, I don't remember anything that happened the last 3 years. No, the fucking last 3 years were garbage. And you're saying we were younger and better. We were not better. We were younger. And if we hadn't fucking lucked into Counsell, we'd be as shitty this year as we were last year.
I disagree.
Well, that's fine. You, both of you also fucking disagreed when I said the Cubs weren't going to go out and break the fucking bank after they got Counsell, and I was fucking right. Me and IFG sat there, argued with you dumbasses. You were like, oh, the Cubs are going to make all the fucking moves in the world. Now they got Counsell. They're going for it. And guess what? Me and IFG fucking argued against you, and we were right. They didn't fucking do it.
Well, they did do it. They got
sign it?
in Imanaga.
Yeah. Did you sign 2 top free agents with a ton of money?
Yeah.
My God. Okay.
We did do it.
I like Imanaga. Nobody was thinking he was a big deal, and he signed pretty cheap for the type of pitcher that he's at. And they fucking sat until the number came back. They could have just as easily as lost.
Yeah, they
just as easily have lost Bellinger.
Billy, please speak on this because they're sick of me. But did they do well? Did they sign a lot of people?
They had a great offseason, man. They addressed a lot of issues, brought back a guy that wanted to come back, and you got to pay him less than he wanted in the first place. So what? He has opt-outs. Yeah, that's a part of it when you work with
I'm really glad you guys cheer for the front office and you're excited about the shit that the front office does because they didn't go out and fucking really go for it. They sat and they sat and they sat. Imanaga is the only truly actually really good player that they went after and got. They sat and fucking waited for
Who'd you do the year before? You did Dansby Swanson, right? And then who's your left fielder? What's his name?
Suzuki.
Fucking Ian Happ is a terrible fucking signing.
And who's fucking raking? Another big fucking pickup. You haven't done it a big splash in 1 year, but in the last 2 years, the Cubs have put a lot of money into this goddamn team.
They have slowly been putting things together. And prior to having fucking Counsell, who actually understands how to use young players, they were doing nothing with that shit. And then you guys acted like they were going to go out and fucking get everybody, and they didn't.
Tell me I'm wrong, Danny. Tell me I'm wrong.
The Cubs are probably spending twice the money of any other team in the NL Central.
Besides,
hold on, the Reds spent over $100 million this offseason on free agents. So
no. Our payroll is well north of $200 million right now. We're going up against the second, right? But we're going up against the second luxury tax, as they refer to it as. And I bet you that payroll is sitting at a place that's probably double the rest of the Central. So I can't sit here and say that the Cubs are not spending money.
Exactly.
Now, if they lose,
I'm not saying that they're not spending money. You guys acted like the signing of Counsell meant that they were going to go and fucking build the goddamn what the Dodgers did.
They
didn't do that.
You guys are sitting here and you got Suzuki and you got Swanson, and then you go
those were signings from before.
Yes, but exactly. But then you come here
and Swanson again. Remember, Swanson was the last one signed.
Who cares?
They waited on his ass.
Who cares when it happens? It happened.
Yeah,
it happened.
You got him.
All
you got him, dude.
You got him. You got him.
We do wait them out. We do go for the one that's left over.
And that's also not the front office's fault. I mean, that's Boris. Jordan Montgomery still isn't signed, dude. Exactly. And that's fucking insane.
Now, there's collusion. That's a different show, but there's collusion going on. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt.
Cotton, I see a good question in the chat. Explain what they should have done differently.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Okay, we don't have time for that. I've been talking about what they should have done differently for 3 fucking years. Okay?
Well,
Go
it's
back
too
and
late
listen.
now. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I think what they could have done differently is not sold the freaking team in during the pandemic year. And if you don't trade now, I love Owen Casey, but it's taken 5 years for him to get here since they traded you Darvish. Like there was a point in which they gave,
And he's still not on the team.
yeah, and he should be, but
he's not.
There's a point in which the Chicago Cubs took their foot off the gas, and it's been a while.
Your foot is on the gas.
And all these young guys who are getting a chance this year, all these young guys getting a chance this year should have gotten their chance last year.
Well,
we should be one more year into this.
Well, they're doing it, and you're paying a manager to do it, and then
all the best parts about this new team this year are the young guys that Craig Counsell is allowing them to use.
Can I speak to it? What Craig wanted from Milwaukee was, I can develop all of these guys. I can give them opportunity. I can develop them. If we have the farm system, I'm going to find a fucking place for him. Can you just give me the guy that is the guy? And you have 4 guys making 20, 25 million a freaking year?
Yeah.
How many do you have? Bellinger?
Yeah.
Swanson?
Suzuki.
Your weakness is the starting rotation, right? But it's still good, and it can get better, and you're always in the conversation. The Brewers aren't. You guys are doing it. You're the one team doing it in the Central, and you're still sitting here. We're not doing enough.
The Reds are,
and they aren't doing enough, honestly, because we should beat the shit out of all the other teams all the time.
And you won't again.
We should be like the Dodgers in this division.
Well, and here's the numbers: Pirates 72 million, in the Reds at 88 million, the Brewers at 94 million, and then the Cardinals up at 164 million, and then the Cubs are at 215.
215, and this is what we're talking about. We don't spend money.
Dodgers, pretty much.
Well, and then the Reds to start the off season.
We don't spend money. You're at 215. You're like
that's
triple.
Not. You guys talked about we got Counsell. And the Cubs are just going to go out and start making big splashes. They did not do that.
Ohtani.
They did not do that.
We were
not in the fucking conversation for Ohtani.
And you dodged a bullet. He's going to get suspended for fucking 3 years. What do you want?
But we weren't really in that conversation. And we sat, and Bellinger just fucking finally decided he wanted to come back to Chicago because why not? He wasn't going to get it. Nobody was giving him his deal.
We don't know what happened there. I mean, I think partly it's collusion. I mean, there's a lot of teams that probably could have wanted him. Nobody wanted to give him the years with the money at the same time. It was another prove-it deal because he was spent the last last year partly injured too. There was a lot going on there, but
and look, I get it that you guys are all bent out of shape because your teams really don't spend a lot of money, but
it's not
the Cubs. No, the Cubs could do more and be better at what they do than they are. And the Counsell signing was the biggest thing that they've done because clearly David Ross was fucking holding this team back for the last couple of years. And two, just allowing these guys, the best guys on this team, everybody's talking about the big splashes. This team is getting better because the young guys are getting chances to play.
Surrounded by
Ohtani. I get it.
But those guys have been. They didn't go get them this year. It's not like they made these big fucking splashes. And nobody was in on Seiya Suzuki. Nobody was in on Imanaga. They're making. Those are some good signings.
Paid them a lot of money. Still paid them a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we forgot to do? The Billy bitch clock.
Oh,
you got
sorry.
it. All right.
We wouldn't have come talk. Well, Billy, more about these Reds.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear some more bitching, but I want to hear it out of Billy's mouth and about a team that's not my own. I personally think that the Cubs look pretty good this year.
I do too. I agree.
And so I added a few of my own. Yours, Billy. You have injuries.
Pete Rose.
Gordon is a Cubs fan. Is because you were telling me the Reds fans are giving him a lot of shit.
Getting reamed. It's ugly. And it's like all of the alt media folk like myself, just like, dude, you're a fucking Cubs fan. Come on, dude. Stop. You're supposed to report on the team. You're at this point giving opinions. So strong work.
And then letting Votto go, but picking up Mike Ford. You're like, why would you're just going to let him play 1 or 2 more years with the Blue Jays for no reason while picking up some other old guy?
Yeah, picking up a 29-year-old guy who is not as good as Joey Votto. Strong work.
Overrating the Cardinals, and then I put in Pete Rose, but only in how it affects or how it relates to Ohtani.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Marge Shot, she just makes the list as the wild card here. So.
Yeah, she's man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a spin. Round and round she goes. Where's she gonna stop? Oh, yes, yes. The Pete Rose Ohtani and how it relates to Pete Rose. 60, 30. What are you looking at?
Like whatever I can do whatever you want, dog.
Right. We'll do 30 and then we'll give it another spin. I like that.
Pitch clock. You have 30 seconds to pitch.
Okay, you can't compare Pete Rose to Shohei Ohtani because Pete Rose betted himself, dude. He did all of it. All the bookmaking, all this shit. He had the bookie and he continued to lie about it. And instead, Shohei's got a meat shield with this little epi fella, so pretty much a bummer. And also, you can't compare Pete Rose to Shohei Ohtani in this situation because Shohei Ohtani did not have an open relationship with a 16-year-old that was on the team plane going with them from place to place. So, a little different.
Stop your bitching.
What you're saying is Pete Rose is way worse.
Oh God, yeah. I am in a camp all alone in this chilly town of fuck Pete Rose.
Pete Rose is a horrible human being.
Skyline.
God, get him. I mean, look, on the field, sure, but as soon as he stepped off of it, what a dork, dude. Guy was awful.
Yeah, and that haircut still, I can't get over it.
That
Look at his
hair.
balls, dude.
I'm giving it another spin. I want to hear you do one of yours. Oh yeah, Gordon's a Cubs fan.
Oh.
Here we go. I'll send this to him after we're done.
Oh God, do not do that. I don't know him or have met him yet, so I can't be. I'll be a dick on here, but do not send to Gordon.
Don't worry. He didn't watch the show.
No, wait.
All right, here we go. Oh, wait.
Pitch clock. You have 30 seconds to pitch.
Gordon, dude, we get it. You're from Chicago. You cover the team for a long time, and you liked doing it. You just can't be open about not liking the team here. You can't go out and tweet, Ellie De La Cruz has gone 0 for 13 after fattening up on minor league pitching. Word choices, bro. Word choices. Say he's seeing lesser talent. Instead, now you get all of the Reds fans and podcasts coming after you like, bro, crazy.
Stop your bitching.
I felt like that could have been a minute. I think we need another 30.
Yeah. So Gordo's actually from like the Seattle area.
Yeah.
And that's where I think he broke in with the Twins. Like that was his first like, big deal. Yeah.
So
but it is funny that I agree. I think he's more of a Cubs fan still.
Oh,
is he just a reporter that he's reporting on your team that just shits on your team?
Yeah, he's the beat guy.
He's the negative guy?
And he's negative. He's negative about the Cubs too. He really was. I mean, when he's on that show with David, he does a show with David Kaplan.
I can't take negative reporters that are just negative all the time. For the
it's kind of his shtick, which is why we like it. But
it's so funny, like how when he got announced, someone put these side by side. He got announced to work for what was it? He was with the Sun Times, right?
Yeah,
and it's him smiling. And then when they announced he was coming to Cincinnati, he was frowning, just like.
I gotta move to Cincinnati.
Right,
he's
great.
He's a cynical guy.
That's fine. You can be cynical, but you also you have to have some positive takes.
You do.
You can't be the bummer in the room. Dude.
I also feel like it's just like clickbait, and you always have to punch up, right? So it's like if you're going at somebody, those questions have to get hit hard, or you're just like a TikToker. Like, what are we freaking doing here? Like,
yeah, that's why the That's why the GOAT in Cincinnati is C. Trent Rosecrans, because even through all the negativity and all the lean years, he went in and did awesome features and is probably one of the best baseball writers working today. And I'm very happy to have him in our town because he never punches down, dude. He finds a way because that's
a
fucking
chili
pro.
dog with you. He ate a Sky Rosa, didn't he?
Oh, dude, we made a sandwich together. We made the Chick Rosa, which was a Chick-fil-A sandwich with the La Rosa's cheese sauce and pepperoni. It was so good.
It actually sounds really good. It sounds like I could only eat about half of it, though.
Dude, they announced the new food options at Great American Ballpark, and they're having a barbecue hoagie. When I saw the words hoagie going to be in my ballpark, I welled up. I almost cried. That's how excited I am.
I mean, isn't a hoagie just a regular sandwich, like a deli sub?
No, it's not just a regular. Don't make me get into this. It will be another 20 minutes.
Sandwich. What's the big deal?
It's not a sandwich. It's the roll itself. Yeah, no.
It's a roll.
I'm gonna make you eat it when you come here too.
About some bread.
Yeah.
I don't get all excited about sandwiches like Billy does, but
big sandwich.
I had a Sky Rosa Malort
luge. Yeah.
Luge, which
A
was
luge?
Yeah, we should do these at Ranter Fest this year. We'll do Sky.
That's a good idea.
We need to. We'll see if they can. Well, they do have pizza at Almost Home, where we will be for.
Let's promote this thing. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. We'll be.
Let's get an ice sculpture made that we can luge Malort off of.
Luge Malort down.
Dude, I have in my basement. I shit you not. I have an ice luge mold, and it's a dick. It's awesome. And you do it, you pour it in, and you do it out of the tip. It's good. It's a good time.
Well, I know they've got a freezer at Almost Home, so we can definitely use that. It could be the longtime listeners of Sun Ranto show. It'll be our ice sculpture of Big Jim.
There you go.
Big Jim was a giant chocolate. There are 3 giant chocolate penises, all called Big Jim, of varying varieties of chocolate, and I ate all 3. They were sent to us by a Sun Ranto show fan back in 2015, I think.
Yeah.
Long time ago. 8 years ago. So
last thing on the Reds. Last thing on the Reds for you guys. I think if everything goes right, Matt McClain's second opinion says he doesn't need surgery and he'll only be out a little bit. TJ Friel gets back in about 6 weeks, 7 weeks to add to that outfield depth, and he recovers quickly, and his wrist isn't completely fucked, and his swing isn't fucked. I think they can win the division. But
it's a lot of ifs.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Ifs and hopes are a big thing, and we're hoping that Ellie De La Cruz takes the next step. You're hoping that Jammer is as advertised. We're hoping that Frankie can give us a full season. There's a lot of ifs and hopes, and if those do succeed, this team can win 88, 89 games. If not, the floor is exactly where they were last year. Wow. 82 wins, and they've gotten better in the rotation and in the bullpen, which is what they needed anyway. So, and Spencer Steer's a beast. I mean, I get it, Bleacher Bump 23. I'm with you. You were going to get exactly what you got out of him year in and year out. A guy who can hit 270, 280, 20 to 25 homers, 75 to 95 ribbies, gets on base, and plays wherever you tell him to play. The guy is an ultimate team player. So, there's a lot of depth, and it's being tested right now. But going in to start the season, I'm not too worried. April gets a little hairy. Yeah.
Cubs have a West Coast road trip.
Can I get my recap on the Brewers and my
expectations? I want to know where you're at with win totals and if you think they could even take the division.
So here's the thing with the Brewers is the starting rotation isn't there. It just isn't. I mean, you trade Ashby Adrian Hauser to the Mets, and we get rid of Tyrone Taylor. But the really exciting thing about this Brewers team is we're young and we won the division with a lot of those players last year. And we had Christian Yelich with a bounce back year last year. Now you had Jackson Chourio into the mix. William Contreras had a great year. Like, here's the thing, and that bullpen is going to be excellent. But it's that starting rotation that we just don't know. So the Brewers every year. I've never been more confident in a Brewers offense going into a year. I've done this podcast for like 4 or 5 years with a Reese and everybody else. I'm the most confident about this offense than I've ever been about the Brewers in a very, 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 very long time. But that starting rotation always had the Woodruffs, the Burns. They had people that could step in. That's going to be our biggest weakness. If we can figure that out and get into the bullpen, but once again, what do the Brewers do? We ride that bullpen. We get to the playoffs and we lose. The good enough gang rides again.
Yeah.
This is going to be a great year for the Brewers. We will be competitive. We're average at what, 78 wins right now? I think we get to 80, 79, 80 wins. We get to 82. I really think we can do it with this team and this coaching staff, and we're trying to prove a point that we can do it without Counsell. So we're going to be competitive. That's my agreement. I think this offense is going to surprise a lot of people. That bullpen's going to come up. A lot of young guys in there. We have a bunch of fucking talent in the farm system we can bring up and figure it out.
You worried about? I mean, Devin Williams is going to be out, what, 2-3 months?
3 months. But then you have Uribe and Payamps, and we just got young dudes. I mean, if you look at Uribe, I mean, he throws a 98-mile-an-hour sinker. Like, who does that? If he gets his control down, and what do the Brewers do well? Bullpen guys. They know how to do it.
Yep.
And we'll figure it out.
I know there'll be pesky, and it reminds me of like maybe a few years ago where they had no starters. I remember there was a few years ago that they won the division with just the bullpen, and they had a bunch of long guys. I think even Wade Miley was part of that squad at that time. And you're like, how do they do it? They just throw these like 3-inning guys at you all freaking day long. They never go through. They never face the same hitter twice. And that's how you did it, and you pieced it together. But that was Craig Counsell. Can Donnie Murphy, or what's his name?
I mean, they're from the same stock. So of course.
Joe Murphy.
We're from the same stock. We're going to do it. And I see in the chat right now from David Elliott, he says like Brewers win the division with 79 wins. That's not going to happen. Like no.
Well, but I will say this though, whereas I think they're in a Major League Baseball landscape of haves and have-nots in the NL Central, we're all pretty bunched together in a very competitive division, and if not the most competitive division. And on top of that, I can see a situation where some of these teams might outperform and be overlooked around the league, and maybe I'm not going to call like a surprise 2015 look where like you have like 97, 98, 100 wins, that kind of thing. But you might be looking at 3 teams that end up over 85.
Yeah.
Because, we have ceilings above that. And we don't play each other as much. So it won't be that head to head. And that's a damn shame because
the Brewers won 92 games last year. The Brewers won 92 games last year. Were we sitting here before the season started saying the Brewers are going to win 92? I don't think we
all said the whole division was going to be 81 and 81.
Yeah. And we won 92. So it's like one of us is going to be that team. It's just going to happen. It has to happen. And
it's not going to be the Cardinals.
It's not going to be.
It's not going to be the Cardinals. No, I'm thinking Cubs win it with like 87 or 88 wins. That's the first place team in the Central.
Do you trust but do you trust your bullpen? That's the other thing.
That's the other question.
More than last year. We made a lot of difference. We got this guy. I don't know if he's going to make the team, maybe not, but Yency Almonte, I don't think he did, but they picked him up. Neris, they picked up, had a great year last year, which scares me because, relievers every other year, they're good. Alzolay, another year into that closer role. I'm feeling positive about that. Who else did they pick up? Well, it's not a pickup, but Luke Little is not very little. He's giant, and he had an amazing spring. Came out, he's 6 freaking 6. He throws the ball super hard. He's going to figure in. And then you got a couple of guys from last year so it's going to be better than last year. Maybe they could stretch it out, but we have some depth in our situation now too. Young guys coming up.
But that's
we're going to get we have a little more depth than we did.
I think that's the
year.
splash Cotton wanted to make is like, go get a Josh Hader, right? Fucking solidify that bullpen. Put that money in. And
the Cubs are a better team this year. and they won what 83 games last year.
Yeah.
Right. And they're a
Tough
better
team.
team this
Tough
year
team.
than they were
Yeah.
last year. And I think the Brewers aren't quite as good. Cincinnati was much higher in my opinion until all of the stuff, the drugs and the injuries and all the shit started coming around. But
Yeah.
we'll see how they.
I think we also sleep on like free agents coming to a new home and figuring out what it is. Like your Dansbys, your Bellingers. It's like they did that this year, being in a new place and like figuring out who they are. And I think these guys are going to explode and be great players. And like, I really think the Cubs are going to be good with a new manager and what you have. Like, I do think this is going to be, it's going to exceed expectations before even your beliefs. Like the Brewers, we're going to be a problem. We don't rebuild, we reload. And it's a young team that's going to be great because we're 5-tool and we play Gary.
Is it because you never really built in the first place?
Yeah.
It was never like you have a team, but you never really like put it all together.
Yeah, you never have the full-on powerhouse.
No, we never do, but we always are good enough. And I say we're the good enough gang, and we ride again, and we always beat you guys. So that's if we're your expectation, fucking set your bar higher, motherfuckers.
Well, I will say this: it could come down to the last game of the season because
Always does.
Cubs and Reds, we play each other on September 27th, 28th, and 29th at Wrigley Field, all day games. So that could be the division right there. And I also want to point out another day that the Cubs are playing the Reds, which is June 1st and May 31st and June 2nd. We will probably be going to all those games because that's Ranter Fest weekend. May 31st will be at Output Lounge, and Billy and Eric will be performing stand-up comedy along with Joe Kilgallen, and that's going to be great. Then the Bleacher Bum Band's going to play. Tickets will be available on opening day. So on Thursday, they're all going to go on sale to the public. Patreon people have already been notified that they can buy tickets right now. So thanks for all of you that already did. Also, then on Saturday, we're going to be doing a live podcast, June 1st. That's going to be at Almost Home. And we're going to have a lot of fun. That's going to be more like a festival. We're going to have a live bitch clock. We're going to have a lot of prizes and raffles, and Crawley's going to sing Africa, apparently. And
I'll be on the bass
be
guitar.
I'll
be on the bass guitar. Yeah.
I'm on the triangle.
Yeah. And Billy on the triangle. So if you want tickets to that, once again, it's all going to go on sale. There, you can buy all these things. And on Sunday, we're going to play a celebrity softball, which there won't be any celebrities involved, but but it's a misnomer of sorts, but we're still calling it celebrity softball. But anyway, there's details on all that stuff that's coming, but save that weekend. It's going to be awesome.
And June 8th, live recording and In Between right across the street from Great American Ballpark.
Yeah, and that's the week right after, and it's also Billy's birthday.
Hey,
Nice.
Yeah. Finally
that
turning
day.
21.
Wait, are we drinking with an underage guy?
Yeah, that's how cool I am, dude.
So lots of good stuff to look forward to. And Eric, you're going to be around that weekend to watch now who are you going to root for between the Reds and the Cubs?
Well, me and Billy, apparently we're staying at an old folks home, and me and Billy are going to be roommates. So I'm obviously rooting for the Reds. And so me and Billy already have plans. We're going to be the drunkest people in the bleachers. And,
Easily.
Yeah, and I'm chopping that snake, and I'm yelling at everybody.
Oh, God, I can't wait to see you chop the steak.
No.
I can't. Ranter Fest definitely has to end in a mass arrest.
Well,
Well,
the real question is, do me and my Thai guy get our reunite? The reunification of me and my Thai guy.
Oh, you will definitely be reunified.
Yeah, because that's a different level, and I don't know if Billy's ready for it. But I'm going to be in the bleachers. I mean, come on, I love the Rangers. I love the Cubs. I'm going to be wearing my Brewers hat. Come see me. Let's hang out. Come to the comedy shows. Let's have some fun.
Well,
Yeah, it's gonna be
last
wild.
year when I came out and saw Danny came to my show. Then we went to Wrigley. That night I think I had just a cool 13 shots of Malort, so I'm ready. I've been building here, dude. I've been training.
I'm preparing already. I mean, now you have Malort and flavors. What is this?
Oh, we've always had
Pepper,
Malort with
yeah,
flavors.
peppermint. Yeah, peppermint. That shit's good.
No,
I mean,
we
actually
do that with schnapps in Wisconsin. You know, there's the ginger schnapps, there's the raspberry schnapps, there's you got schnapps. And
Yeah.
you put it in a microwave, you heat it up, you go ice fish. That's what you do.
Yeah, not a lot of. I mean, there's a little bit of ice fishing and malorting, I believe. I think I could see that being a good ice fishing shot.
Well, let
Yeah,
me
I
ask
think
you a
so.
question. So what's
It
the
makes me
expected?
warm.
What's the expected? Like, what's the crowd level going to be in terms of the ranters at this comedy show? Am I doing a show for the ranters, or are we doing a show just to do a show?
What do you mean? Are we doing a show like just for each other? Is that
No.
what you're asking?
Am I doing a show for the ranters, or am I doing a show like?
What are your shows? Like, are you doing your show?
Yes, or am I roasting the ranters? Like, what are we doing?
Absolutely. Well, the ranters will be there, and you normally roast the audience, so I believe you will be by default roasting the ranters. So, I mean,
Can I have a car waiting?
it's called. I'll call you an Uber. You'll be fine.
We'll get you some chicken wire like on Blues Brothers.
Danny, get a car at the door. I want to leave.
I will say
Dude,
this.
I'll have 2 bird scooters ready to roll, dude.
Yeah, dude.
There is a door right behind the stage.
Okay.
So if you need to make a quick exit from the stage, you don't have to go through the audience to get out. You can go straight out the door.
I'm trying to leave Chicago with no black eyes, but we'll see.
So on real quick on Thursday, which is opening day for the Cubs, it's opening day for everybody, right? Except for the Padres and Dodgers, right? So they didn't stagger it this year. Well, anyway, I'm going to be over at Country Club for a little bit of that. That's after me and Michael are going to do a little pregame show, probably around 5:00 ish, I would say. And then I'm going to go over to Country Club. So if you want to hang out, it's the CHGO Chuggo Party. Chug, chug. And I'll be over there. So I've just dropped a link for it in the chat. I think tickets are free if it's not sold out. Hashtag Chance in the chat. You could win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom right now, because I'm going to share my screen and share the little contest that we got going here. And it is your last chance to get in the chance giveaway. Only says 9, but I don't believe it. 10, 11. Keep them coming.
Keep it climbing.
Oh,
baby.
come on. Oh, now the chat's kicking up.
There we go.
There we go. See, that's way more than 11 people. I think the count.
I can't count that fast.
I don't know how to count.
17. Robert Sanchez, Cub Druggist with the win. Congratulations, Robert. You have been entered to win the end of year tournament when you win a bag of things that I give you. Didn't I say that the Snoop Dogg cookbook is in it?
Look at that good boy.
Did I already put the Snoop Dogg cookbook
No,
in
you
it?
have
I
not
forget
told
what I
about
put
the
up.
Snoop Dogg cookbook.
Yeah, that's my problem is I get all these prizes and I'm like, oh, I'll do it for this. And then I end up giving it away like 3 times. And I'm like, it's for this. I mean, it's for that. Oh, I'm giving away the same bobblehead 17 times, but it's fine.
Well,
Nobody
that's
really
because
wants
it's
that
the
anyway.
Nick Madrigal and nobody wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been sitting on this to give away to somebody. I think it's in this drawer.
What is that? Mike
Signed Mike Moonstock. No one wants this.
It's a major award.
No, the Brewers got him and we didn't want him.
Yeah, I've just been having this sit in my drawer over here that I call the IL, so it works out.
No, you had him. No, you got Mike after us. That was the worst signing ever. Good Lord.
That was awful. That was like there were 2 duds when we were really going for it in 2020.
Yeah.
That signing, and then Akiyama was an absolute dud.
Mike played pretty well for us, but he faded in the playoffs. But he was
Yeah.
not a bad player. But
he was hurt. He was just hurt here. And then I heard he wasn't a great teammate from some other folks when he was here. So, bummer.
I'll say this. Come to Ranchers Fest. This is going to be a blast. That's all I want to say. It's going to be an unbelievable time. I'm so excited. I can't wait to come out. I can't wait to see everybody. And
you did mention briefly that you are staying in a senior living facility, and it's true. So that's part of the fun is hearing the stories from Billy and Eric.
No, I heard there was free breakfast, and Billy's my roommate, so I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. Oh, and Chris is coming, so that's exciting too. The co-host. So you got both of the nasty boys.
We're trying to get Johnny Onomatopoeia out there. He is an unconfirmed invitee.
Johnny's the hard part to get, Johnny Onomatopoeia, because I'm going to be hanging out with him in New York right before I fly, because I'm flying from New York with him, and I'm trying to create some songs that we can play on the stage and maybe do together. But he's not committing.
Yeah, we'll get him. We'll get him. Just stuff him in your luggage. We need him there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's in. I think he's a hard out, but we'll see.
Yeah, it would be your carry onomatopoeia.
There we go.
Nice. And on that note, I would like to thank you guys both for showing up tonight and talking about your respective teams, and of course to Bleacher Bunch Productions, which carries our podcast on the Fans First Sports Network. And our 111 Patreon supporters, thank you very much, especially Blake Beard, Rogue Wave Creative, and Mike Waller, and the Cubs PS Plus podcast. Matt Kammerer is a sponsor of this show, along with his permanent paintings and In the Clutch shirts, where you should use a promo code SunRanto for 10% off and buy this fabulous Stookie shirt.
There you go.
Follow us everywhere. New Nasty Boys, at Eric Wielo.
Also throw the promo back in. If you hit the highest match of subscriber on the Patreon, I will match it to send these boys to Japan.
$108 a month.
I will match.
That's every month.
I will match. I need proof, Danny, but I will match.
How much is that how much is that in yen?
I don't know, but isn't I think yen goes up to like the millions of yen. Like a million yen is like $100 or something. Like, isn't that how it works? I'm not sure. What is the yen? Yeah. I don't know. Well, I'll have to figure that out by next show. That's a possible way to find out.
Yeah, what's the yin to the yen? You know.
Well, thanks for all being here. I'm going to play a song, and we're going to just I'm going to say Spagog, and you guys are going to say something else.
Go Red
guys. Spagog.
Go Brewers.
Spagog.
Red Legs.
Word from
through the ups and the downs, the good times and the bad, no matter what, this will always be my team. Brewers baseball is part of who I am. It's part of who we are.
I'm coming back to Wrigley with a ticket in my hands. No ring upon my finger because I am just a fan. And I spent most of my money on sausages and beer. But I was there when they won it that year. A pressured anticipation had the city tightly wrought with a 5-3 combination as the sailing ball was caught. Half a dozen generations who would live to see the day the Cubs would take the season all the way. Now we're coming back to Wrigley. We're coming back to Wrigley, where the ivy will start growing and the April winds are blowing in today.